We're just shuffling it up here. Trying to clean up my space a little bit. We're up on YouTube Live right now. We're about to go on TikTok Live, but I thought I'd just hang out here for a few minutes and see what kind of trouble we could get into on this on YouTube. Of course, the show goes live at just about an hour. But you know, it never hurts to try new things, right? Right? Why isn't my fan blowing on me? Hey, oh, hey, oh, hey, hey. Nobody's on yet. That's cool. Yeah, man. We are doing the damn thing here on YouTube. Very nice. That is not a pleasant taste that's in my mouth currently. Well, we'll stay on for a little bit and see how it goes. Of course, we will be live at 2 p.m. on the West Coast to talk about the NWA, part of our pre-party. Let's fix this real quick. All right. Yeah, man. So that's how we do it up here in the lavish studios of the Alliance Blog Podcast. All right, let's go. Where are we at now? Okay. I'm going to go live here on the old Ticker Talker. Test. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. All right. Hey, what's up? See, you're joining. We are live. We are live. Oh, hey. I don't know who you are. We are live on YouTube and on TikTok. My name is J Cal. Every Tuesday, I talk wrestling with you. What's up, everyone? I forgot to do my pre-show hype. Oh, well. Now, there's 11 of you on YouTube. How many are we going to get here on TikTok? Well, it's been a minute since I've been on TikTok Live, and it's Tuesday. A week ago, I was in an airport. Bonjour. Hello from Iran. Bonjour. I was in Scotland. Actually, no, I was in Liverpool this time. Well, technically, I was in an airplane. Oh my God, I can't talk anymore. This time last week, I was flying home from the United Kingdom. My name is J Cal. I do a wrestling podcast here on YouTube and TikTok and Twitch and Kick. And every Tuesday, I come live an hour before my show, roughly, just to talk about wrestling. And if I take off my hat, sometimes people think I look like Kevin Owens. Oh, I look busted. That's what I look like. Anyways, buongiorno. What's going on? I see some people are peeping the show on TikTok, and I appreciate that. Do you know Kurd? No, I don't know Kurd. I'm sorry. My preferred language is English. I know a little bit of Spanish. Some people think I talk Carney sometimes, but I do not know Kurd. Sorry. Do you find a lot of people know Kurd when you go onto YouTube? What is up, everybody? Did you watch WrestleMania? What were your thoughts? Did you watch Monday Night Raw? What were your thoughts? Do you watch NWA Power? What are your thoughts? Oh, man. Kurds are in Iraq. Okay. I guess I'm a little bit ignorant. I thought Kurd was the language. I didn't know that Kurd was the people. So, no disrespect intended. But we are live on TikTok. We are live on YouTube. This is the pre-show. We do a live show every we do a live show every Tuesday to talk wrestling right here on youtube.com/The Alliance Blog. And we are right now also on TikTok. And we are talking all things wrestling right now. At the top of the hour, we're going to be talking about the NWA, the United Wrestling Network. But right now, all is free to speak on. We are on the road to 10,000 likes. If you are on TikTok, give us a follow. And I actually follow back on TikTok. There is no way for me to follow you back on YouTube. I mean, I guess I could subscribe. Alex Springfield, the first Kevin Owens comment of the day. Yes, we stay intact. Every single time I come on live, people accuse me of being Kevin Owens. And it hasn't changed, Daddy. We're still getting it today. Mari thought I was Kevin Owens too, and now it starts. And now it starts, everybody. Missed you, WrestleMania. There it is. There it is. I couldn't wrestle at WrestleMania. My neck was broken. Kevin Owen, you need a mask so people can stop calling you that. Yeah, well, Gigi, if I put the hat on, I get it a lot less. So if I do this, then I don't get it, you know? People tend to just keep on scrolling. But I do have a mask. Which one, Blue Demon or La Parka? You guys pick. I'll put it on. So yeah, welcome one and all. So yeah, Kevin Owens wasn't at WrestleMania. A lot of people thought that the injury was a work. And unfortunately, it's not a work. He is legitimately injured. And that's a real bummer because I feel like they were getting ready to create some magic with Randy Orton. Now, obviously, Randy Orton pivoted pretty good from not having that match with Kevin Owens. He did get to take on Joe Hendry at WrestleMania, which I thought was pretty awesome, right? Like, say his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. And I feel what was really cool about that moment is some of the Joe Hendry apologists, TNA apologists are like, well, you know, he just got his butt kicked by Randy Orton. But let's be honest about something for just a minute, right? Let's just be honest about something for just 1 second. Who the heck is Joe Hendry when in the upper echelon of pro wrestling? We know Randy Orton is a first ballot Hall of Famer. And although he spent most of his career, I think all of his career, within the WWE, the confines of the World Wrestling Entertainment, you can't take away that Randy Orton's been one of the biggest stars in the past 20 years of pro wrestling. And with that being said, was he supposed to do the job to Joe Hendry? Now, personally, I think Joe Hendry is not long for TNA Wrestling. I feel Joe Hendry, at some point, will be inked to the World Wrestling Entertainment. We'll see him in the WWE. But I think this was a great reintroduction. Of course, we saw him at the Rumble. He's been a part of NXT main events. And the thing is there were no NXT wrestlers at WrestleMania, right? My boy, Dadner Dude. Bro! I just feel like this match should have been a little bit longer than 3 minutes. Yeah, and I agree with that. I do. You know, I heard Hendry on Busted Open, and he said it was perfect the way it was. I felt like they could have had a little bit more of a competitive match. I felt like it could have went a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, it did not hurt Joe Hendry to take that RKO. It didn't. And I'm not saying the guy is Teflon, right? I'm not saying he is unstoppable, but this is not even a bump in the road. He was at WrestleMania. He had the TNA World Title at WrestleMania. Nobody's ever done that before. Nobody. So as much as I agree with you, Dadner, dude, like I too would have liked the longer match. I like Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. But I also feel like that match couldn't have gone. It could have got a lot worse for Joe Hendry. It could have been a lot better for Joe Hendry. But at the end of the day, I feel like it was the right kind of match. Not a lot of stress on Randy Orton. Joe Hendry got his appearance. I mean, I thought it was good. It was good TV. The RKO out of nowhere. I don't know if you guys saw that while you were in the Allegiant Stadium, Dad Nerd. I don't know if you saw that, but it could have been bell ring, RKO, 1, 2, 3 over. I mean, at least Hendry got some offense in, and I felt like he looked pretty good in it. Harley's asking me about my thoughts on the Wyatt 6 and the booking, and there's so many false starts with the Wyatt 6. I really feel bad for everybody involved. Of course, it's paying homage to Bray Wyatt, who was, honestly, he was a disruptor when it comes to sports entertainment. He was doing things that were just wild and inconceivable. And by being so dynamic, it created this cult-like following. And it's awful that he passed away. Obviously, like nobody should lose a son or a father or a lover or anything like that. It's tragic. It's horrible. However, like the WWE is trying to honor his legacy by using the Wyatt 6 and using Bray's brother. But I feel like don't say lover. So he had a woman. I can't remember her name right now. Kayla Braxton, I think. I could be wrong. His girlfriend. I don't think they were married. What am I supposed to? Dad Nerd says gives me the ick. All right, that's fair. That's fair. JoJo. Okay. Dad Nerd, you're right. JoJo. I apologize. Apologies. Please forgive me. You guys got me quick on that one. Dad Nerd and Harley both got me on that. So I guess what I'm saying is it's an unfortunate set of circumstances, and there's been so many false starts for them. It's kind of hard to build them back up. And at this point, if you're going to do it, that's what you have to do. If you're going to keep going with the Wyatt 6, you have to slowly reintroduce them. And it might even be a better idea to put them on NXT until they can get firing on all cylinders. That's just my opinion. I love Lovebug. What's up? She's a sweet lady. I mean, I don't know JoJo. I honestly, when she was on WWE programming, I wasn't really watching back then. I keep kind of slipping in and out of WWE consciousness. Sometimes I'm all in, like right now at WrestleMania. Obviously, it's a hype time, and I'm really into it. But I'm not familiar with JoJo at all, except for I know she's gorgeous, and she was the significant other for Bray Wyatt before he passed. What do you think about Cena as world champion? Well, I love Lovebug. I think that's amazing. I think this is terrific. I don't like how they got there. Obviously, everybody's upset. I mean, there was no Rock. I saw a post earlier today. It's like Rock is like a deadbeat dad who only shows up when he wants to feel good about himself. And there's a lot of truth to that, man. I mean, look, he is the responsible party for last year's WrestleMania, the 2024 WrestleMania. He got a pinfall victory over Cody before Cody went on to win the WWE World Championship, undisputed title. And he was also the guy who essentially set up Cody for this year's WrestleMania with John Cena turning on him. And we didn't get to see what the plan was for that, because The Rock no-showed. I mean, he didn't no show, but I guess he wasn't booked or wasn't going to ever be there. I don't know the set of circumstances. I just know that I feel like the fans kind of got robbed. And honestly, like, it's not to be disrespectful, but come on, the rapper is the guy that cost Cody that match. Like, that to me is dumb. And I would have rather had seen John Cena just beat Cody straight up cleanly than have, I think his name's Travis Scott, show up. Thoughts on Aleister Black coming back this Friday? He's a hell of a talent, and um, sorry guys, hang on just a second. Sorry guys, work stuff. So yeah, I do feel like Aleister Black is a hell of a talent. He's amazing, and again with the WWE's acquisition of Lucha Libre AAA, who knows where Aleister Black is going to actually end up? I would not be 100% shocked to see him in Lucha Libre AAA if they're even still going to call it Lucha Libre AAA, which I hope they do. But yeah, there's so many moving pieces right now within the World Wrestling Entertainment with TKO Holdings, with Endeavor. All these pieces are moving so rapidly. It'll be interesting to see how it all pans out. Looks like we're getting Randy versus Cena again. Yeah, I love Lovebug. I think that is the match that they're going to go with for Survivor Series. And I would love to see it. And I kind of hope Orton wins the title from Cena. How great would that be? I mean, it sucks to see Cody kind of get pushed to a side, but that man worked his ass off for like 380 days, like every single day. He was the flag bearer of the of the World Wrestling Entertainment. And yeah, I don't want to see Cody gone forever, but he deserves a break. He doesn't necessarily have to be on TV for the next, for the next cycle for Payback. What's it called? I think that's the post WWE pay-per-view. It doesn't really matter. Signature live event, premium live event, whatever they call it. And then what do you think about the whole Karrion Kross thing? Well, Karrion Kross, Killer Kross, is so underutilized by the World Wrestling Entertainment. I'll be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if he's one of the guys that gets dropped when they do the roster cuts post WrestleMania. They always seem to cut people from the roster. He's a guy that I think is so good, and the WWE is just afraid to push that guy. I mean, he's on the internet breaking bats with his bare hands by doing Cobra clutches and chokeholds. You got him in Josh Barnett's. He's beating the hell out of JR Kratos. I mean, he's a gifted, phenomenal athlete, and the fact that WWE has not found a way to push this guy is absolutely bonkers to me. Now, there's only so many spaces at the top of the card, but I mean, you can't give that guy an IC title run. You can't put the U.S. title on him. I mean, like LA Knight had a good run. Karrion Kross can't get that belt. Of course, Jacob Fatu. I'm excited to see what he's going to do with the belt. And honestly, I really do like Dominic Mysterio. Is probably my favorite guy to watch in the WWE currently. But I just feel like you got to find something for Karrion Kross. If not, let his ass go, because he is money, and it's being wasted. I have not seen a main roster push for Karrion Kross that is equated to success. Hey, Emily says, could Kross go to AEW if he's fired? Wouldn't you? If you're Tony Khan and you got a guy who can cut promos, has all the tools, is a hell of a wrestler, he's got a decent body. And when I say decent, I mean he's a lot better body than this guy for sure. But I mean, like, you put him up to somebody like Bobby Lashley. Of course, Bobby Lashley is like a sculpted Greek god, but Karrion Kross is a big dude. He got a good build, and yeah, absolutely. If I'm AEW, I'm interested. If he is released from the WWE, if I'm AEW, I'd be calling immediately. What do you think about Rusev's return? Rusev coming back to the WWE was almost a foregone conclusion. I don't know why it took so long for this to happen. Rusev is a guy who Again, has a lot of the tools that you need to be successful, but never really got that right push. I mean, he was the U.S. champion when Cena had that the U.S. title challenge a few years back. But I feel like things haven't changed that much in the WWE. You look at the landscape, right? You still got Roman Reigns at the top of the card. You still got Randy Orton at the top of the card. You got Cody's probably going to take some time off, but you still got Seth freaking Rollins, right? And you've got and now with Paul Heyman and Braun Breaker. I mean, that's kind of a cool group right there. And then of course, like, the Drew McIntyres, the Damian Priest of the world, like the top of the card is loaded. So Rusev coming back, I like it, but I hope they have a plan for him, because right now, where does he slot in? You put him in a feud with Dominic Mysterio, maybe? You put him in a feud with Jacob Fatu? I mean, I don't know what you do with Rusev. Who are the tag teams right now? Is there a tag team that you could use with Rusev? Let's see. You guys are talking fast. I think we'll get Cody versus Cena at SummerSlam. I think if I'm the WWE, I hold off. I maybe do Survivor Series Cody versus Cena, just because there's stories to be told, and Cody doesn't need to be in that picture to tell those stories. I didn't even bring up CM Punk when we were talking about that. There's so many talented guys there, and John Cena versus CM Punk, John Cena versus Randy Orton, John Cena versus who? There's so many names there that would make a lot of sense. Lon 3 says, Karrion would thrive in AEW, no scripted promos, and let him unleash his full potential. Absolutely. It's a total package, right? It's not Lex Luger, but he's a total package, and I feel like the WWE has been squandering Karrion Kross. Now, all that to say, if he shows up tomorrow as part of Paul Heyman's new group, or gets a shot at Jey Uso, I mean, then things could change. But as of right now, it's like, I don't know. I'm just very disappointed with the lack of Karrion Kross on Monday Night programming. Totally thought you were Kevin Owens. I get that a lot, Leprechaun. I feel like Rusev is going to start getting pushed since he's back. I love Lovebug. That'd be great. That'd be great. Rusev is a very talented wrestler. The fact that he trained out here locally in Southern California with Rikishi, I mean, he is part of that Samoan dynasty by way of being trained by the Samoans, Rikishi and the Black Pearl. So, I mean, who knows? Maybe he's part of this new bloodline. Maybe he becomes part of Solo's bloodline. I don't know. I mean, there's still more story to be told with the bloodline. Fatu would be an interesting feud. I mean, it'd be a good way to get things going. We thinking Rollins and Braun are the beginning of a new dangerous alliance. Popo Shisho. That reminds me of the Santa Claus. Popo Shisho. I don't know if they're calling it the Dangerous Alliance. I like it. I mean, geez, do you guys remember the original Dangerous Alliance in WCW? I mean, it was Rick Rude, Steve Austin, Arn Anderson, Larry Zbyszko, right? Bobby Eaton. I mean, that group was killer. And RC22 says, who else would you bring in and join Seth and Braun? I mean, like, it's limitless, right? Hell, you could bring Rusev into that group. I love Lovebug just said that. I could see Rusev joining Seth Rollins' new group and him and Braun go for the tag titles. There you go. Popo Shisho. Yeah. So you guys are all on the same page with me. I mean, it would be pretty diabolical. And that's the thing about, what do we know about Paul Heyman? He always surrounds himself with greatness, right? CM Punk on the way up. It never really materialized much into a manager's role, but he was Brock Lesnar. And at that time, too, that between Brock Lesnar, there's like the Big Show and Nathan Jones and all that, those guys early in the, not early, but like early 2000s, I guess. And then we get, the whole just Brock Lesnar and then being the wise man for the tribal chief for the bloodline. Heyman is talented, and him picking up a bunch of guys to create this alliance, it does kind of feel like there's a gap now that the bloodline being the main event storyline seems to be done. There could be some more things, more pieces to drop. Was anybody else expecting Sammy to attack Jay? I don't know, man. I think Jay and Sammy, well, especially Sammy, I think you got to keep Sammy as a baby face. I feel like that's important, um, especially when eventually Kevin Owens will be back. I'm almost positive. I'm almost certain. And that rivalry will kick off at some point. Maybe they'll team again. Maybe Owens will save Sammy from somebody. I'm honestly surprised that Jey Uso wasn't the third member of the Rock's group. I kind of thought that that's what they were going with this whole, the Rock's doing the whole thing like this, and deuces, ooses, and all of that just kind of seems to go together. I've seen some conspiracy theorists talking about that, and it wouldn't shock me, wouldn't surprise me. I wouldn't hate it either. Let's see. Chris Jericho might be returning to the WWE. I don't feel like there is a place for Chris Jericho in this WWE. Not now. Unless it's like, I mean, what value does Jericho bring? And I'm not trying to be a jerk. Jericho used to be my favorite wrestler. But what value does Jericho bring today to the WWE? There was such a there's such a wealth, an embarrassment of talent at the top of the card. I don't even see Jericho fitting in the IC title picture. What does he go to NXT and kind of be a player coach? I don't know. I don't see Jericho being a fit for the WWE at this point. You think Jay gonna have a better reign than Cody? Absolutely not. I love Bug. I think unless something changes, I think Gunther will have that title back before the end of the year. Jericho would be the on-screen, the GM? I mean, sure. But does he want to do that? If I'm Jericho, I'm expecting a similar deal that CM Punk got. And that's because I would probably overvalue myself. Let's be honest. You know who Chris Jericho's number one fan is? It's Chris Jericho. The dude thinks he is the embodiment of pro wrestling, and to be quite honest, he isn't. He hasn't been for some time. And although I do feel he was talented in his days, I mean, I don't see him bringing much as value. Not even as a commentator. I mean, and I'm not trying to hate on the guy, but you've got solid commentators. You've got people in these positions. You got Adam Pearce as your Raw GM. You got Nick Aldis as your SmackDown GM. How much more can Chris Jericho bring to the table in one of those roles? I don't know. I just don't see it. That's just me. What do you think of NXT as a league? I think NXT is amazing. I think when you consider the fact that NXT was supposed to be just a product to develop talent, and now they have their own show on the CW, they have signature or premium live events on Peacock. It is a huge thing. And then if the rumors are true, they're looking at putting, rebranding Lucha Libre AAA as NXT, which I absolutely hate, and I could talk for an hour on that alone. But yeah, NXT is awesome, and it's much more than just developmental now. They're not just a developmental league. Evil says he's not going to happen. He makes huge cash with crews, movies, etc. Yeah, and that's the thing. Why would he take a pay cut to come to the WWE? Why would he want to take back seat to anybody? He can keep doing his Rockin' Ragers. I mean, look, if I'm Chris Jericho, maybe the place to go isn't the WWE, but maybe TNA. That could change a lot. Putting him in TNA changes so much. Him in WWE? No. Him in TNA? Maybe. I mean, there are still things about Jericho that are not attractive. I mean, his age is getting up there. His in-ring ability isn't as good as it was. Yes, he has a ton of accomplishments, but again, what role does he fit in? Are you going to put him as the number one contender for Joe Hendry in the title? I mean, might be exciting at first, but after one match, then what do you got? Yeah, RC22 says, "Oh, thanks for the rose, Leprechaun. I appreciate you." RC22 says, "Yeah, Jericho's going to want to be in a big role on the card." Yeah, and it's just, I don't think that's I don't think you have that role for him at this point. Um, Not in the WWE. You know, a place that would really benefit from Jericho, and I know that's going to sound crazy, is the MLW or the NWA. Oh, the NWA could really benefit from Chris Jericho. And I know it sounds like I'm just back talking here, but at Jericho and the National Wrestling Alliance taking on Tom Latimer for the 10 pounds of gold. Now you're cooking, daddy. Now you're cooking MLW. Yeah, I feel like that'd be a good fit too. I really feel like both those would be very good spots for Jericho, but not in the WWE, and maybe not even TNA. Hey B, if you're still on B, hi, and if you're not, bye. We are talking WWE just ahead of the pre-show for the NWA Power that goes live at 2 o'clock on the West Coast, 5 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, B, just be yourself. How are you, B? Well, thanks for hanging out, B. Do you watch WWE Evolve? I love Lovebug. There is too much content out in the world for me to watch Evolve. I would love to watch Evolve, but between trying to watch SmackDown, Raw, well, let's be honest, trying to watch Raw, trying to watch NWA, trying to watch United Wrestling Network, trying to watch MLW, trying to watch AEW, it's too much. I can't watch Evolve. Now I get it, if you are a brand centric and you just want to watch WWE programming, they now have literally 7 days a week of content for you, which I think is awesome. It's incredible. It's good for the industry, but I can't watch all of it. And B, you're never a bother. Let's talk WrestleMania. What did you like? What didn't you like? What did you think of Io Sky retaining? That shocked me. I didn't expect Io Sky to keep the title. What did you think of who else? What else happened? Dom. Yeah, Dom. See, B, did we talk about this a long time ago? Dominic Mysterio is one of my favorite personalities to watch in the WWE. I loved him as a heel. It's crazy that he's getting over as a babyface. I hope it lasts, but I'm not expecting it to last. I don't know, maybe that Vegas crowd was, delirious and we're rooting for them, but I hope that I hope that he has a pretty decent run with the IC title. His whole shtick is classic to me. Calling himself, I've been champion for 20 minutes. I'm already the greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Like, that's great, man. We did talk about Dom a while ago. I wish he would go solo. Yeah, I mean, I think Judgment Day has kind of ran its course. I don't know what else you could do with them, like Finn Balor and JD. Obviously, I think they could probably break off and do a tag team thing. I think there is some value still there with Dominic and Liv and Raquel. But I feel like as a whole, Judgment Days, their best days are gone. Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest were kind of the glue that held that ship together. I love Finn Balor. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in the WWE. I wish they would do something more with him as well. Maybe he could be a potential challenger for Jey Uso and that title. Yeah, exactly. And Finn and Dom aren't getting along. And, like, how much are we going to have to see of the same thing over and over again, Judgment Day peaked after they turned on Ripley and Priest, maybe, but it's certainly been downhill since then. And the thing is like, you look at what Damian Priest is doing on SmackDown. I'm not overly excited about where he's at right now. I'm not entirely excited where Rhea Ripley's headed right now. I mean, Rhea Ripley was one of the hottest commodities in the WWE last year, and I get it that triple threat match was probably one of the best matches of all WrestleMania. She's not a champion. She's not currently in that role. You might be considered like the main event for the women's division, but like, again, we're talking about how heavy the main roster is with the men's division. The women's division's equally as impressive. I mean, they someone in the comments earlier talked about Becky coming up and then Becky going heel, and that to me, like, I'm kind of tired of Becky Lynch. I think we've seen the best of Becky Lynch, and everything now is just a tribute show. That's not to say that she can't still have good matches and still good moments, but you look at that roster and you got Bianca Belair, you got Charlotte, you've got Rhea Ripley, right? And then you've got, like, in the wings waiting for their opportunity, Stephanie Vaquer, Julia, and then even like Leia Bakar and Chelsea Green. I'm like, it's such a stacked roster, and that's not even to say that Kairi Sane when she comes back, or Asuka when she comes back. I mean, there's such a it is super competitive, ultra competitive. Probably the best division in all of wrestling is the WWE's women division. I don't like splitting up Rhea and Damian, and the way they're booking Rhea is poor. Yeah, well, and I feel like that's intentional. I feel like they're intentionally trying to make us dislike Rhea because maybe they're planning to do Rhea versus Tiffany Stratton down the road, which I think would be great because it's kind of like Barbie versus, like, Pink versus Black, Goth versus Preppy. I don't know, maybe. The way they're booking Rhea, the fans are eventually going to turn on Rhea. Yeah, and I think that's all right. Like, I don't think Rhea was ever supposed to be an over babyface the way she was. I don't think that was the plan. I just think, also organically, between her and Dom, that whole thing was really good. Lord, Tiffy and Rhea are my faves. Tiffy got her teeth chipped. Did you guys see that? That match with Charlotte went hard, and it was a fun watch. It was a fun watch, a little bit cringy at points because it's like it was hard hitting, very hard hitting, and I wasn't expecting that kind of match with Tiffany Stratton. She really stepped up. I'm reading your guys' comments. Sorry, Charlotte and Becky's time are up. The women's landscape has changed since they've been gone. I agree with Becky. I don't agree with Charlotte. Charlotte is very much her father, and she will always have a place in the business. She'll always have a place in the women's division. And honestly, she helped make Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. Like, Tiffany's a bigger star because of it. And I don't know any other wrestler on the roster that could have elevated Tiffany Stratton in that way. You don't have to, like, whether you like it or love it, whether you like it or don't like it, learn to love it because it's the best thing going down. Charlotte is not my cup of tea either, but you can't deny what she's meant to the division in the past. You can't deny what she means to the wrestling, the WWE in the future. And again, you just saw at WrestleMania. That was like, what, her third match since being back, fourth match. Charlotte is amazing with putting people over. Yeah, and she's done it multiple times. And that's the thing. Like, where's the ego? I've heard people say that she has this ego. Like, she put over Tiffany Stratton. It was a hell of a match. And while we're talking about it, could they have had different gear? Because I kept watching that match and I'm like, wait, which one is Tiffany? Which one is... When the hair was down, it was hard to tell who was who. Thanks for the follow, Anthony. And for everyone else who's following, I appreciate it. When I get off my live stream today, I'll go back and follow everyone that follows me. That's what I do here. We're on the road to 10,000. As you can see, we are very far away from it. So I do appreciate everyone that gets behind what we're doing here. And I'm live every Tuesday. I put up wrestling content throughout the week, whether it be live, not live, but clips from wrestling shows that I've attended live, or content that we've made on our live streams. I try to get over as much content as I can. I'm a fan of pro wrestling. My specialty, the company I watch the closest, is the National Wrestling Alliance, followed by the United Wrestling Network. They run out of my backyard. I'm pals with Dave Marquez and that Championship Wrestling from Hollywood group. And if you guys aren't watching that, you should check them out. They're on YouTube. Check out Championship Wrestling. They're on the Memphis Wrestling YouTube channel. I don't understand, but I don't try to. Good content. The NWA is over on X. I don't like that app either, but I use it to watch the NWA. I'm not the biggest fan of Charlotte, but I don't like the double standards. They didn't criticize Becky for taking a spot like they criticized Charlotte. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of truth to that as well. Charlotte is held to a higher standard than any of the other women. And again, part of that is because who she is. Her last name is Flair. If her last name was Stevens or Williams or anything else, she wouldn't have been held to such a high standard. But it's that last name that has opened up many doors for her that, look, let's be honest, she gets a lot of opportunity because who she is, but rarely does she not knock it out of the park. And this, I'm not a fan of Charlotte. You guys don't make me defend her. I'm not a fan of Charlotte. When it comes to between Becky and Charlotte, I used to prefer Becky, but now I'm kind of over Becky too. I think again the women's division in the WWE is so incredible, and then there's like the whispers that Mariah May is heading towards the WWE, and I'm like, whoa, let's pump the brakes, right? She's still on a contract with AEW, and if Mariah May showed up on Raw tomorrow night, or I guess SmackDown on Friday night, where the hell are you gonna put her? There is such a thing as having too much of a good thing. The WWE women's roster, I don't think you need any more superstars. You need to start building the next wave of superstars. You're seeing that with Julia. You're seeing that with Stephanie Vaquer, and I don't know. Yeah, RC22. It is. It's too much talent, and like I want to see what the plan is for Lucha Libre AAA. If the plan is to make that into a minor league developmental system like NXT, I'm over it. I hate it. I don't like it. I think it's trash. I think it's garbage. If they're going to keep Lucha Libre AAA as a fourth brand under the WWE, under TKO, like, look, TKO has a lot going on right now. Besides UFC, besides World Wrestling Entertainment, they recently bought like the PBR, the Professional Bull Riders Association, PBRA, whatever it is. They've got lots of things going on. They don't buy companies. Like, this isn't BlackRock. They're not bankrupting your favorite companies and selling the licenses, right? They're buying these companies because they have ways of generating more income with them. They have ways of, the WWE is the biggest wrestling promotion in the world. It's the biggest. You can't argue with me on that. You'll lose. There's no company that is bigger than the WWE. With that being said, Lucha Libre AAA has 33 years of existence in Mexico. They were the company that gave Rey Mysterio his opportunities. A lot of their talents helped propel ECW, helped propel WCW. The whole cruiserweight division in 1997 was held up by several luchadors from AAA. Like, you can't tell me that there isn't value there. And, I feel like if the WWE machine was incorporated into Lucha Libre AAA, I feel like you're going to see some pretty cool stuff. But if they opt to just make it a developmental league, man, that's such a wasted opportunity. You got to remember, Lucha Libre AAA tours Mexico, right? They wrestle in TJ, they wrestle in Ensenada, they wrestle in Mexico City, they wrestle in Monterrey. They're all over the place. and although CMLL is the superior brand, I make no qualms about it. CMLL has created more stars in the last 10 years, has higher profile matches, has more superstars under its roster. But that's not to say, like, what kind of business would you do with Lucha Libre AAA if you threw Rey Mysterio on that show, on those shows? You did a couple tours a month. Put him on the TV. Hell, put him and Dragon Lee and Andrade, and I mean, now you got something. But we'll see. RC22, I'm nervous for New Japan. Did you see The Rock on that video wearing a New Japan shirt? I would not worry about New Japan Pro Wrestling. I think if anyone was going to be acquired by World Wrestling Entertainment, by TKO Holdings, I think you're looking at Pro Wrestling Noah. That is kind of more in line with the WWE anyway, and they've already been doing stuff. They've already been working together. Charlie Dempsey's been over in Pro Wrestling Noah. Osmos was a Pro Wrestling Noah tag team champion for a brief moment. I think Noah, and especially what you guys may or may not know, is Pro Wrestling Noah has a very close relationship with not New Japan, AAA. Noah and AAA have a lot of the talent in AAA work Noah shows. Daga, El Hijo de, oh man, El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. I'm not sure which one it is, but yeah. And RC22 says WWE is starting to do much a monopoly of them owning multiple wrestling companies, and that's bad. Yes and no, right? I agree with you that owning too much is bad it's a bad look. But at the same time, look at what they're doing right now, right? So they just had Game Changer Wrestling in Las Vegas, had Josh Barnett's Bloodsport, and who was there? Karrion Kross, Shayna Baszler, Natty Neihart, Charlie Dempsey. I mean, that's 4 WWE talents that appeared on a non-WWE event. And there isn't really much of a relationship between GCW and the WWE. Now they did do the WWE ID match tournaments in Vegas. So I mean, and GCW does use some of the WWE ID talents. But with that being said, like, Natty Neidhart's going to appear in the NWA May 17th at Crockett Cup. I'll be there. I'm literally going because Natty Neidhart's going to be there. That's a flight. I'm flying to Philly, guys. That's not a short trip. That's like a 6-hour flight. Yeah, RC22. Natty Neidhart, I believe she's challenging Kenzie Page for the NWA Women's World Championship, the Burke. And if you go on X right now, from that Bloodsport event that happened at WrestleMania weekend on that Thursday night, Kenzie Page and Natty Neidhart had a little scuffle at the Bloodsport after Natty won her match. So yeah, it's getting wild, guys. It's getting crazy. But we're gonna wrap it up here. It was a lot of fun talking WWE with you guys, talking about Chris Jericho, talking about Rusev, talking about Dirty Dom, talking about Natty Neidhart. But at the top of the hour, we talk NWA. If you want to join me, I'll be on youtube.com/The Alliance Blog, kick.com/The Alliance Blog, twitch.com/The Alliance Blog. Whichever platform is your favorite, you can check us out there.